Hey guys, what's going on? Mason, back at it, except today I'm on the Insta 360. I was using the Canon last video, but I wanted to try the Insta 360 today just to see if I like it better. I think this lens is a bit wider, so hopefully it looks a little clearer and just overall a better setup. I'm not sure what the mic is going to sound like on this thing, so we'll get into that later on. After I record this, I'll see if I can dial things in better or if it's okay. We're just gonna send it and just go with that. Anyways, in today's video, I wanted to talk about honesty and what you think honesty is and what I think honesty is. And we're going to talk about being honest with yourself, and then how that kind of translates into it being easier to be honest with other people. And yeah, it just gets easier over time, I think. And in my case, actually, it's great to be honest. And yeah, I just want to go into that because I think right now in this world, it's important to be honest with yourself so you can be as honest as you can be with other people. And I think it's a good balance. Or I think there can be a good balance. So yeah, let's get into that. So, what do I think honesty is? And I think honesty is probably, well, not probably. I should say honesty to me is holding yourself accountable, integrity, and being true to what you're really feeling. I think your feelings are the most important things in this world. Your mindset really is where that's coming from. If you're happy in your head and you're being truthful to the things going on, and you're living life very intentionally and being mindful of yourself, I think that's a good representative of what being honest to yourself is like. And my eyes are watering. It's pretty sunny out here, and the pollen is crazy. And I think that translates to being honest with other people. If you're holding yourself in a higher light and you care about what you're thinking, and you take pride in yourself, and I'm not saying you need to say this stuff out loud. Even, I just think that if you're willing to be truthful to what's going on inside of you, you might find out some awesome things or even some terrible things about yourself. And what's cool about being a person is that you actually have the ability to make changes in your life. If you don't like the way you're treating yourself or thinking about yourself or how certain situations are going, you can just... And the cool part about being honest with yourself is you don't need to say these things out loud either. You think these things, and you probably might even have a conversation with yourself while you're watching this video or after. And you're like, you know what is honesty, and how can I be more honest with myself on the things that I need? And I think that's just a good thing to conversate. with yourself about. Learn about you. And I think once you learn truly who you are and and what you really want, and you're being mindful and intentional and truthful, and you can have some awesome conversations about how you can act and just be better. And I'm not saying these things because I think I'm better. There's so much work that I need that needs to be done. But I think it's important to, question your own self and be like, am I being honest with myself? And once you start, I feel like I should probably bring up some examples. Here, let's come up with a little talking point on an example. So let's just say one of your best friends invites you out for some acai bowls or some sort of bowl place, right? And you're stoked, but you're just not really feeling it that day. So you say, hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to invite me, and I'd love to see you, but today's just not a day that I want to, go out and spend some money, or you don't even need a reason, but if you don't want to do something, I just want you guys or whoever's watching this to just, it's okay to say no. It's okay. You don't need to do things for other people all the time. And if you are being a little more honest with yourself, you might find some willpower to just be able to sit back and enjoy a day to yourself. You don't need to do all these crazy things just to appease other people. Sure, there's a balance, but what if you're just, I think I've heard the term people pleasing before. You might have too. Or just doing the society norm. You've probably heard people say that too. It's okay. It's okay to do what you want to do every once in a while. There's a balance. There's going to be some days when you want to go grab an acai bowl and your friend won't want to. Or, maybe they aren't being honest with themselves and they don't want to go, but they're going to go anyways and they're not going to feel great. And I think it's important, if you're honest with yourself, you will be able to act. I don't want to say act, actually, but you will be in your best headspace when you are doing it on your terms. Yeah, act was not the right word. So, yeah, honesty is cool. And more recently, Colby and I have been talking about that and how you just feel your best when you can be honest with yourself. And I think it's cool. I think it's a cool talking point, really. Now, other people being honest. That's a tricky one because you don't want to. You can't control anyone. You don't want to control anyone, anyways. That's a whole different beast. Control is not ideal. But you do want to see other people being honest with themselves. You might see family members or strangers or people on TV or YouTube who are just doing all these things, but it's like, okay, that's great. you're doing all of these things, but are you happy doing these things? Are you being honest with yourself and taking the time you need to reset and chill? I mean, maybe they are. I'm not saying they're not. It just does make you wonder what other people's lives would look like if they too were being honest with themselves. Is this something that you really want, or are you just doing it because it's the societal norm and you're just trying to make people happy? Take a step back, ask yourself that one little question: does this make me feel good? If it does, then you're probably doing the right thing. But if it doesn't, that's okay. Just be intentional and mindful, when you're looking for the next endeavor. And I think that's cool. You have a lot of pull in your own life, and being honest with yourself is probably one of the biggest and hardest things you can do for yourself, so you can be there for people when you are your best. And who knows, you might learn a couple things about yourself. You might learn some things about other people. They're being more honest with themselves. Just imagine two really honest people just getting together and just talking about awesome things. No one's lying to themselves. No one's thinking about societal norms when they're talking. And they're just talking about whatever they want. Maybe I'll backtrack a little bit. You don't want to go off the rails per se, but yeah, just be honest. Be honest with yourself. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. And then I think people will start to see you. And I also think people can see you if you're not being honest with yourself. So you kind of need to, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful if you're not being honest with yourself. But yeah. I don't know. I feel like I could go off on this topic, and who knows, maybe I will someday, but I just wanted to put this out there, see if I can get some interaction with anyone. So I like talking about this stuff. It's cool. So yeah, be true to who you are, be honest with yourself, and be the best you can be. Cool. Love you guys.